Good morning, Rabbi Isai. What a day, Rabbi Isai. First of all, check out this picture. It's Peretz Chaim Levine at his own daughter's L'chaim, celebrating with Avi Kamiansky. But what's the chiddush is that Rabbi Isai, first of all, tremendous mazel tov to Peretz Chaim Levine on the engagement. He says it's mamish a golden dove situation, and we want to announce the engagement of our very own Zevi Kamiansky, the son of Avi. Chosin sitting right over here. Let him dance by himself. Wow. Now, here's I didn't even get to say, this is one of the biggest MDY Shidduchim ever. He's engaged to Akiva Solway's sister. This is one of the biggest MDY Shidduchim, and I'll explain. Here you have Akiva all the way to the left. He's been with us since the beginning of Shas. He's continuing to do the daf every day in yeshiva. His father, Shimon, would come every single day, drive him all the way to the front door, then go back and look for parking 5 minutes away. Avi, Zevi, and Hillel. Where's Hillel? Zda. Now, the Zayda, Dr. Epstein, Mazel Tov, Dr. Epstein. And the other Zaydi, Avi's father, also does the daf. In fact, our big Bal Chesed, Mark Ashkenazi, happened to be in Los Angeles 2 days ago, and he stopped by Avi's father's house to fix his computer so he could be on Zoom every day. Ma'aseh Shaya. So, what's that? Rabbi Isai, going from Simcha to Simcha. Oh, here it is. Mazel Tov to the Avi Kamiansky, Peretz Levin, and Shimon Solway, families of the late breaking Simchas. And for all they do for MDY, Befrat, and the Jewish community at large, official mitzvah motivators, and a special shout out for Doc Epstein. Yeah. You got to pay attention at all times here. I'm not going to repeat myself. Oh, it's official saying Mazel Tov to you. Special Mazel Tov to you. Thank you, Vishal. Rabbi said today's Yiddy's yahrzeits. Here he is in the Beis Medrash. Here is one of the posters that he made back in the day. Started it off, and we'll jump right in. The koil of the month is by anonymous from Lakewood. The Tinoik, his name is Yisroel, but he had a bris Baruch Hashem. Now he's sponsoring it for Simi Mandelbaum's son's engagement. The wedding should be b'shal toivum and tzlachas, and they should build a bais name Yisroel. The Masech is sponsored for the unity of Am Yisrael. The Parnas HaChodesh, the last day, in memory of Binyomin Airley from Anonymous in Manchester, who joined the shiur at the beginning of Sotah. His neshama should have an aliyah. Parnas HaChodesh, Shprintzy and Avrumie Gross. The nishmas, the yahrzeits of our fathers, Zlman ben Ytzchak, Aiyzik, zechus and Binyomin Aiyzik ben Hiresh, הכהן, zechus. Parnas HaChodesh, the nishmas, Zechrya ben Moshe, the nishmas, Chaya bas Yosef. Parnas HaChodesh. Ahron Fraiman, it should be a zechus to rebel if it continues to Shmaya in teaching Torah to Klal Yisroel. Peretz Chaim, Shalom Aleichem. Where are you? Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Do we hear him? We have the ability to hear him. Let's see. Talk. Unmute yourself for a second. You don't know how to do it. You have to hit unmute. Peretz Chaim Levin.
He can't.
PC. Okay. Mazel Tov. We all say Mazel Tov.
You're so talented.
Oh, here. Oh. Here, I'm about to read this. Listen. Peretz Chaim and Zahav Levine, Mazel Tov on the golden dove engagement of our daughter Shoshana Malka to Habocher Achoshev Dov Zyman and to his parents Avromy and Zloty Zyman. You have anything to add?
Yes, the father is the Chavrusa of Kobe Moses, who's the instrumental of the Shidduch, who's also an Emily Wire.
Yuval, you know what would have been amazing if you brought him in, exactly. If you brought in the father of the chassan or the chassan himself, that would have been like, Leila, Leila.
I'm trying.
All right. Lamais, I think all the 1,300 people that you brought into the shiur should wish you a special mazel tov. They should all write you emails and they should, yeah. And forget the gift of Torah, the gift of life. Parnas Hayoim, Yaakov Warman and Fei Warman, Lezeichen Nishmas Rochel Basvi Blapstein. Parnas Hayoim. Oh, I didn't even say that. Okay. Parnas Hayoim, the Wellerstein family. Lilu Nishmas Mindel Bas Yeshua Minnie Wallenstein. First it says Wellerstein, then it says Wallenstein. So I don't know which one it is. We didn't write it, right? What? I said the Wellerstein and the Wallenstein. They get confused sometimes themselves. I don't know. Sally Fortgang, Zish's father, in memory of Yiddy Leibowitz, who got me hooked on the daf, which changed my life. You hear this? Another person who Yiddy Leibowitz changed his life. So these are two people we mentioned. Here's Sally Fortgang's father, Zish's father, and Yossi Klein. At least two people, and they mean a lot to this year. Please put on the status. Yossi Klein sponsored today that he says, please put on status, join for Yiddy. The number 4, join4yiddy.com. Lili Nishmas, Reb Shalom Baruch Yehuda Ben Yibadul Chaim Tovim Reb Yosef Yechiel Michal Shlita. And the sponsor of the Art of the Month, anonymous, for the zechus, for an easy childbirth for his daughter and a healthy baby. Rabbi Isai, we're holding on the Tzadik. All the way in the bottom, 6 lines from the bottom. Torah Rabbanon. Shor Tam Shehimis V'Hizik. So first we have to remember, go back to the beginning of Bava Kama, and we learned a lot about this. A tam is an ox that gored less than 3 times. 3 times, 1, 2, 3. The 4th time it becomes a muad. And one of the big differences between a tam and a muad, first of all, tam only pays half, 50% of the damage. The muad pays the full amount. But here's a huge difference. The tam pays only from its whatever it's worth, megufay. So let's say the bull is worth 500 and the damage was 1,500. He only pays 500. The muad, on the other hand, pays min aliyah. He pays from his own pocket. The owner has to pay from his pocket the entire amount. So if the bull is worth 500 and the damage was 1,500, he has to pay 1,000 out of his own pocket, even from his own real estate, from the best of his real estate. Aliyah means the best of the best. Muad, Nezik Shalom, Aliyah, Tam, see it a little different. Okay. So it says the Gemara like this. Shar Tam Shehemis V'Hizik. This tam is on his way, Baruch Hashem, to becoming a muad. First, he kills a human being, and then he causes damage. It's two things that he did. He killed, and then he caused damage. What do? First, we deal with the fact that he killed a human being. And if he killed a human being, we must kill him, and therefore, he dies. And then there's nothing left. There's nothing left to pay up for the damage that he did. We are holding the Tzadik Amud Beis, 6 lines from the bottom. If anybody else didn't hear it, see there's a big commotion. Where we're holding. Okay. So there's no money left for the mumminus. We kill him. Now he's worthless. Even if we take his body after, he's worthless. Muad shehemis v'hizik. If he already struck 3 times, and then on the 4th time he killed someone, and then he caused damage, it's different. Why? Because now we take from the pocket of the owner. So it doesn't really matter how and when. So what do? What we need to do first is first, we must take the money for the damage. And then afterwards, even though he killed first and then he caused damage second, we take the money for the damages first and then we kill him. What happens? What if we reversed it? What we just said. First we kill the animal. And then we go back to the guy and say, hey, you also owe for all the damage he did. We cannot force the owner to pay for the damage. Ask the Gemara why. Who cares? So what if they killed the ox? We're not going after the ox. We're not trying to take money from the actual ox. We're trying to take from the pocket of the owner. So go afterwards. After you kill the bull, you go to the owner and say, hey, pay up. Amarava, we need a good pshat. I saw the Rabbanan that came out of the yeshiva of Rav, the Asrik Hamran, they said, Hamani Reb Shimon Timnihi. Sounds familiar because we had him yesterday. When somebody kills somebody with his fist, he beats him to death. So we say we have to bring the weapon to Bezdin. We have to bring the fist and we have to say, the Eidim testify they saw it was with a fist. And we bring to Bezdin, we say, okay, what happened? Let's see the fist. Is it large enough to kill a human being? Alma be'inon umdina de beidina. So this word is important now for the sugya until we get at least halfway through, a quarter, 3/4 through, or 2/3 through, whatever it is. This word umdina means to assess, to evaluate maybe. Maybe assess is a better word. To see if this object, this weapon, this kli was powerful enough to cause damage. Yeah? And here's a very interesting thing, says the Gemara. Since we already said that this bull must die, so here goes. When a human being kills somebody, we could get rid of that Tom thing, if possible. When somebody kills another person, and Bezdin says, yeah, he killed him, he deserves Misa, what do? Unlike in America, that he sits on death row for 20 years, and another case, and he has a calendar, and he puts red lines, and this day, and he's lived another day. In Bezdin, they take him and they kill him right away. Why? You don't want this guy to suffer. So too, when it comes to a bull, when a bull kills, and Bezdin Paskins, he's a killer, he killed a human being, we kill him right away. But not because we don't want him to suffer, because the bull has no idea that he's about to die. But it has to be similar to the human being. So therefore we have a problem. Since we said that this bull must die, we don't wait to assess and to see could the bull damage and how much damage. We don't delay the din, we kill him right away. And therefore what? What's the question? If we kill the bull, what's the problem? Go to the balabais and say, hey, you also caused $100 damage. Your bull damaged my car. Pay up. Well, we don't have time to assess the damage because we're killing the bull. So therefore, he doesn't get paid. So Rava says, I told these Talmidim, I have another pshat. The reason why we can't go and get money is because the owner ran away. Before there's actually a din Torah, before we brought the bull to Bezdin to see, did he kill this human being? How much damage did he cause to the car? He did two things, right? He killed someone and he caused damage. Before he had a chance, the owner ran away. The problem, you can't do a din Torah without the presence of the owner. He has to be there. That's the Gemara. Wait a minute. If he ran away, so then how are you going to do anything? How are you going to subject him to pay for the damages? You said, first comes maminis, then comes nefashis. And we said, well, what happens if the nefashis comes first? He can't do maminis. Why? Says Ravi, ran away. So how are you going to do anything? He ran away. You can't even make him pay for the damage that he did to the car. Says the Gemara, the Kabul Sahadi Ubarach. What happened was, we had a whole court case. We brought the bull in front of us, we brought the owner, and we brought the witnesses and the Eidim, and everybody said what they had to say, and now the Bezdin said, okay, put him to death, and he has to pay money. The problem is, he can't pay money. You know why? He ran away. We know how much he has to pay. He has to pay $100. But he ran away. He's scared he's going to have to pay. Says the Gemara, So what did you get? What? The Kabel Sadu Barach. Soif, Meichem Ishtal. At the end of the day, even if we're going to say that Dinim Mamonis comes first, so Dinim Mamonis comes first. But he ran away. He ran away with his wallet. How are you going to get money out of him? Huh?
It doesn't have any money.
What do you mean, does it have any money?
There's nothing to take. It doesn't have any money.
Why? Because he ran. If he didn't run, take it. What? Meridia. Says the Gemara, there's a way to get money. Put the animal to work, and all the income that comes in from the animal plowing fields, you take that money and you pay off the damage. Says the Gemara, if that's the case, so then why can't you take money from an animal that's, let's say, his first time they cause damage? He killed a human being first, and then he damaged the car second. We say, all you do is you kill him. There's no money in it. The animal himself doesn't have any value once you kill him. So therefore, the one that got he had his car damaged doesn't get any money. The question is, why not? Before you kill the bull, have him work on the field, let him earn some income, and that income goes to pay off the damage of the car, and then kill him. Says the Gemara, you see from here, sometimes when you're pushed in a corner, the Gemara has the kasha in the sugya, so we come up with we have a new understanding, something we didn't know before. Comes out that all income that comes from this animal is actually considered aliyah. It's not considered part of the body of the bull. How do you view it? The bull is worth 500. The bull could produce income and bring another 100 in. But that added income is really part of the owner's money. It's not part of the bull. We don't view it as part of the bull. That was income that came from the bull that's really owned by the owner, and a tam doesn't pay maliyah. Tam only pays begufay. And therefore, we don't take that money to pay off damages. Okay. I hope nobody heard you. Ibailu. Yesh oymed lenizakin oy ein oymed lenizakin. Here's the picture. This is what people need to know. If a guy was really damaged by a rubber toy, a rubber hammer, he died from it. He lost consciousness. Do we have to take this toy to Bezdin and say, hey, is it possible to kill a human being with a hammer, toy hammer? In other words, do we, just like when somebody kills somebody with a stone, you have to bring the stone to Bezdin, and Bezdin looks at the stone and says, that's only 2 grams, impossible to die from that. So why did he die? There's anything that so that he died from it. He had a pre-existing condition, and the little stone aggravated, and he died. You didn't kill him with the stone. Over here also, I don't know, maybe he was traveling, he remembers his mother hitting him over the head when he was a kid with the toy, and he fainted and he died. It's not that he died from we have to bring it to Bezdin, maybe. Do we have to do an assessment like that when it comes to damage and not death? Do we say that it's only when it comes to the death of a human being, then we have to assess the weapon? Like we do today, we take the gun and see, did the bullet come out of this gun? Is it this, that? I know of a story, unfortunate story, a local guy hit somebody in the head with a hammer. They put him in jail. They want to see the hammer. How big is it? Is it a hammer that could kill, not kill? It's something that they need to see. But maybe it doesn't matter. You caused damage. Who cares how you caused the damage? It was rubber, it was plastic, it was metal. You caused the damage. No, perhaps we have to bring it to Bezdin. Toshma. So again, we want to know, do we have to assess damages, the kli? And the Gemara is going to be more specific later, that it's the kli that we're talking about. Do we have to assess the kli to see if it could cause damage? Or perhaps there's a pre-existing condition or whatever it is that doesn't make sense, and Bezdin going to say, you're not chayiv. Ma bar, says the Gemara, Toshma. Ma bar sheyesh bo kedei lahames asar tfachim. There's also, we learned this extensively in the Masechta, that if the Torah says that if you created a bar a round pit and somebody fell in it and he died, the animal died. Asara tfachim. In order to kill somebody, you need 10 tfachim. Afkal she'esh boy kedei lahamis. What's called? Any type of hole in the ground, whether it's a square, a rectangle, a pentagon, it doesn't matter. If they have the amount to kill, then you're chayiv for killing. How much is that? Asara tfachim. Now, here's the key words here. If it was less than 10 tfachim, if it was anything less, Potter, he's Potter for death. Who's like boy chayiv? He's chayiv on nizakin on what? Anything less than 10. What does that mean? My love, mimata lemala kochoshev. We're going from mimata means from the shallowest of depths to the deepest lemala. So we're going from 0, 1 tefach, let's say, to 10 tefachim. Kochoshev. In other words, we're doing the entire range. From mata, what does mata mean? The lowest depth, the least depth, lemala. To show you behind the scenes, I did this on my computer screen, so it's not 100%, it's not the best handwriting, but I have like this here. I have this pencil here. I'll show you real quick. It's not Nagia, okay. Here I have this thing, I go like this, right? So I drew this on my thing, and I sent it to Yoshi, and he did one of these. This is how it comes out after. Should I show you again? Like this to this. So there's no difference.
And the only difference is the house. There's a house in the other one.
Okay, anyway, I personally enjoyed it. So it's counterintuitive. People think that lamala means on top by the street level. Lamala means the depth of the bar. Turn it upside down, sort of. Lamala means how deep it is, how high the bar is. Lamala, how many? A lot of tefachim. Not lamata means a few tefachim. Right, the numbers. Lamala means a high number. Lamata means a low number. So if you're looking at the pit all the way on the top, but anyway, the point, it's a little slightly confusing. Mimata lamala would mean the entire range from the street level to the bottom of the pit. You are what? You're chayiv in nizakin, it says. Because anything less than 10, you're chayiv in nizakin. V'achigomar mitefach. In that entire range, this hezek. Doesn't say that you have to take it to Bezdin, not take the bar to Bezdin. Show the entire range, you're chayiv in nizakin. There's a certain amount, 10, you're chayiv misa. After 10, anything between 10 and 0, you're chayiv for nizakin. So this Gemara, no. We're going from very deep, high numbers to low numbers. In other words, we're not telling you a range. We're saying anything that's more than 10 tefachim, you're chayiv misa. And one drop less than 10 tefachim is already not chayiv misa, that's hezek. What about 987654? I'm not talking about that. I didn't tell you. So Mela, I don't know. So what's the halach in that case? Go to Bezdin and they'll figure it out for you. Each case is different. The animal, how strong he is, how big he is, how large, how small. An animal broke its leg, we have to see. Bring to Bezdin. Is it 3 tvachim deep, 10 tvachim deep? Does it make sense? Doesn't make sense. But I didn't give you a range. Before I was saying mimata lamalo, so anything from 0 to 10. Mimata lamalo from 0 to 10 or whatever, however deep the bar is. That's in the nizakin range. You don't have to come to Bezdin. Now I'm telling you, no, stop from mimala lamata. Anything above 10 is kills. Up to 10, a little bit below 10 doesn't kill. But what about much below that? I didn't talk about that. So now you'll have to figure it out. And then therefore, maybe you do have to go to Bezdin to assess. 10 is death. A drop below 10, nizakin is said there is hezek. Misa leka. But at the end of the day, you have to figure it out in Bezdin. And each and every object and thing, in case by case scenario, we're going to go and check out how the hezek happened. Tashma. So that's not a good raya. Tashma. You call it again. We're trying to find out. You have to go to Bezdin to figure out if the kli was enough to cause damage. He hit his eye, the slave, he hit his eye, and he blinded him. He made him deaf on his ear. What if he didn't hit him on his eye, next to his eye, somewhere on his head, on his skull, and it made him blind? The slave doesn't go out with that. My timer. Because you have to figure out, is that zetz on his cheek, is that enough to make him blind? And you see from here that you do have to assess. When it comes to these kind of things, it's possible the person from all his trauma and fear caused himself to be blind, to be deaf. He caused himself his own damages. Like for instance, now in the war, at least 2 people died just from fear. A missile was coming in and they got a heart attack and died. A lot of people started running, hitting themselves in the wall, whatever, tripping, falling, bruising themselves. That's either not avis nafshay. Yeah? Oh, we have a good one. Hold on. You all know the story I like to say over from Remy Menson, my roommate in Camp Morris. He didn't want to participate in the Shachris thing that we're doing, this Shachris initiative. Whoever didn't come to Shachris first would have to buy the whole bunk pastrami sandwich. He didn't want to be part of it. So I was annoyed at him. And I had an opportunity when I went to Beis Medrash one morning and there was horses grazing on the grass in front of the Beis Medrash. I grabbed the horse and brought it back into the bunk. And this is the continuation of the story. If you don't know the story, here it is. I asked the artist to do it. Just this is Remy Menton. That's me. That was me laughing in the corner. But that guy, Remy, literally shook like a leaf for 30, 40. I've never seen it in my life. Shook like that. I used to look like that. I had a mustache. I had tchelis, the whole thing. Huh? Overall. Yeah. Listen, it was in the summer. So anyways, fear, it's all relative. You take, if you shoot missiles into Ramat Shemesh, a lot of the kids, including my children, I have to schlep them into the mamad. They're standing with the cameras on the porch taking videos. Some people, they go meshuggah and they start shaking. It all depends on the human being. So you can't say the missile did it to you. You did it to yourself. Each person is their own thing. Amdu v'hivri. Says Gemara. Sorry. Oh yeah. We have a lot. If you scare your friend, you are potter. That you can't sue somebody for that, but you chayiv min hashamayim. You blew a horn. I'm not going to show it again, and you made him. I can't. Okay,
very good.
You joking?
No.
Okay. Here. By the way, here's reversed. This is Remy and me.
That was Remy's revenge.
Yeah, that was Remy's revenge. Ketzah, talk about the Hirschi, you made him deaf. Potter, a chazar, talk about it. You weren't here, Ashi, yesterday? He was. You liked it even more today. However, listen to this. If he blew into his ear, he made himself deaf. But you held on, you were physical, and then you blew into his ear, then chayav, toshma. From the 5 things necessary, you do an assessment and you give him the money right away. Very interesting. Guy's in a car accident. He comes to Bezin right away. He's probably going to be in the hospital for 37 days, paid for 37 days for his workman comp. Also, he's going to need 13 surgeries and give him the money right now. We don't wait until the year is over and how many surgeries and how many this and how many that. Give him right now. But what if the situation is much worse than you thought? It goes based on that first assessment. What if he got healthy? Then you give him everything he gains. Oh, you see, he did an assessment in his zaken. Says Gemara, of course you do an assessment. That wasn't the question. How much he's going to be out of work and how much refu he needs. How much yes, how much not. Of course you have to do an assessment. But our question was more the Meimah Chefza, not the Gavra, the Chefza, the Kli, the weapon. That was the question was more on the weapon, not on the person and how much he's going to be out of work. So we still don't know. Tashma. And this is the final thing. When a person kills somebody or does damage with his fist, says Shimon HaTimni, you bring him to Bezdin to see the fist. By me it's in parentheses. Okay, I'll read it. You see from Shimon HaTimni, and they say even Rebbe Akiva himself would agree that you have to assess the egrov. Just you don't have to bring the Bezdin. The Eidim assess it. But there's an assessment when it comes to the Kli, Shalom Yisrael. Omer Mar. A person that became healthy earlier than what Bezdin assessed, he gets the money. If they said it's going to take a whole day, that you're going to be out of work, and he became healthy, after half a day, and he even worked, he double dips, he goes on his job, he gets money for that, and he also gets from Bezdin. Bezdin says that he gets the whole day. I got to tell you the story real quickly, even though we're running out of time. I said the story before, I have to say it again, because people ask me, how's it? I don't have a quarter of the stories that you have. So this is a good example of why I have more stories than most of you. We were in the airport. I don't remember exactly what happened. We missed our flight or was just delayed for a very long time, and my wife was basically very upset that she's not going to make the wedding or whatever we were flying to America for. So she was complaining. I said, listen, it's Shamayim and Shamayim. And as I'm talking to her, I hear a guy talking very loudly. He's walking with another person from Elal. He's wearing this Elal thing. He says, Akol min Hashamayim, Akol min Hashamayim. That's what he's telling her. And he's not wearing a yarmulke or anything. I said, this is a perfect opportunity. Let this guy give my wife a little musar. So I said, excuse me. He says, yes. I said, what did you just say? He says, Akol min Hashamayim. I said, I have an issue here with my wife. Come, give her some chizuk. He says, no problem. I'll tell you the story that he told me. Then I said, could I video you? And he said it not as good. But he said, basically, when he was 18 years old, he was accepted into the Tayesset. He was going to go to the Air Force and become a pilot. That was his dream. And he was driving a car, and a truck hit him. And he comes out of the car. He sees he's all good. He calls up his father. He says, Abba, I was hit by a truck. Everything is 100% good. His father says, I don't care if 100% good. You're going to the hospital right now. You got to get checked out. You're hit by a truck. He says, no, fight. His father wins. He goes to the hospital. Check him out. They find a brain tumor in his head. She said, you see, if I wouldn't have been hit by the truck, I wouldn't have known. So I said, did you ever become a pilot? No, he never became a pilot. Here's the video. I have a video of him saying it just real quickly. Here's the guy. I stopped him, so that's why I had the story. You, regular people, don't stop random people in airports.
Hi.
I'm here with
Elior.
Elio. Listen to this unbelievable story.
You see that? From year to year. When I was 18, 1 month before to be a pilot in the army, a truck passed in red and hit my car. Because of the accident, they found a tumor in the middle of the brain. Nobody liked him.
So what were you saying when you walked by here and I overheard you say something? Hakol tova.
Exactly.
Hakol tova.
Everything for good. Everything.
Your wife felt better.
Oh, she felt great. She's like, oh, another. So embarrassing. Says the Gemara, we said in the Mishnah, if you spit at somebody, you have to pay him a certain amount. It has to hit his skin. If it hits his clothing, not. Ask the Gemara, why not? Why you're not chayiv if it hits the clothing? It shouldn't be any worse. It's like saying something disgusting to somebody. So the Gemara says, Amri b'marav and the Rabbi Yosef Barovin, Zoysemer. You see from here again, we're forced to say, Bishu b'dvarim patur miklum. You're not chayiv anything. So what does that mean? We know that if you mevayish chaver b'rabim ein lechelik lo'elam haba, mal b'nei chaver b'rabim ein lechelik lo'elam haba. So the Shulchan Aruch says that actually Yeshayimrim, that we put a person in chayrim. We can't take money from him, but we put him in chayrim until he asks mechila. The Ramah says that we actually give him malchus for embarrassing. It's not a joke to embarrass somebody. Don't take this literally. Bishoy b'dvarim potter miklum. Says the Gemara, Akol v'chvoidoi. says the top words in the Tzadik Amud Beis. The first words in the Amud. What does that mean? So it says, let's say you remove a woman's hair covering, you owe her 400. Is that the minimum?
No.
But some women you have to pay 800, or is that the maximum? It's 400, but some women you only pay 100. It says it goes on base how chashuv the person is. So that's the Gemara's question: is it a minimum or a maximum? That's a maximum. Or dilma, or is it a minimum? They're very poor people, lower society, let's call them, that shouldn't deserve that amount. Or perhaps no. The minimum is 400, but there's wealthy people, chashavers, strategic. The boy that made them you have to pay them more. Rabbi Kiva says we view every person Klal Yisroel like the son of Avromy Zloty. So you see that the Tanakam is talking about the max. The max is 400. We don't go above 400. Some people, Rabbi Kiva holds everybody's 400. But the Tanakam says no. Sometimes you go below. The story was that a person removed the head covering of a woman. She went to Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Kiva said 400. So he went and he did some detective work, and he broke stick around. I got to say a story about you. He broke a thing of oil, and the oil poured out, and she took it. She took off her hair covering, put it in her hair, and he didn't want to pay the 400. But the point was that he asked Rabbi Kiva, could I have some time? And his idea was that he wanted to do some detective work. And Rabbi Kiva says, fine, take some time. Ask the Gemara, do you give somebody time? He has to pay right away. When somebody causes damage to somebody, pay right away. Says Gemara, when I take something from somebody, I cause you $100 damage, pay up right away. Why should you wait 100 days? You took the money today, pay today. When it comes to busha, I didn't take anything from the person. So then I could give the guy some time to come up with the money or whatever he needs. He saw her standing there. So we say every day in Oz Yashir, they sunk down like lead. So a lot of people read it in the great waters. But the better pshat l'chayr is if you look in the Torah, there's a tipcha, mercha tipcha, so it goes like this, means stop, comma. They sunk in the water. Who? Adirim, the mighty ones, the Egyptians. So it's not great waters, but it's referring to anyway. Ayin Sham. But over here the Gemara said, Rabbi Kiva said, you just went down on a dive, and what did you come up with the dive? Nothing. Cheres. Just a broken piece of earthenware. So Rabbi Kiva is telling him a person is allowed to cause damage to himself, so she's allowed to take off her own head covering. What's the problem? But in our mission it says that Rabbi Kiva said the opposite. Rabbi Kiva said you cannot damage yourself, but if he does, you can't be mechayev him. Rabbi Kiva said you cannot damage yourself. So which one is it? Could you damage yourself or you can't damage yourself? It's also to cause damage to yourself, but it's okay to embarrass yourself. A Magichir could embarrass himself. Somebody else should not embarrass the Magichir. You could, if you want. But our mission, the entire Mishnah, is talking about busha, not chabala. We have 6 minutes to do this giant damage. Actually, we have 11. It says mefurish that busha, even busha, you shouldn't do it. You're not allowed to do it, Potter. You are permitted to embarrass yourself, but even to cause yourself to take off your own finger. You're not permitted to harm yourself. Nevertheless, if you decide to take off your own finger, and then somebody else says, "Oh, you took off your own finger, I'll take the second finger off." Of course, he's chayiv. Sponsored by Greg Haber for the success and safe return of our chayilim and hostages, and for the zechus for all of Klal Yisroel. Oh, what's your name, Tzaddik? You were here yesterday, Shachris. What's your name? Shmuel. Shmuel from Brooklyn. I noticed you were here also like 2 hours after Shachris, learning away. Yeah, that was you, right? You gotta catch up. Okay, Givaldik. Shmuel. You know him?
Of course. LA boy.
Ah, very nice. Givaldik. Ask the Gemara. Oh, very interesting Shaila, because I just thought it's fascinating because you don't think about these things. Is it a problem or not a problem to go on a diet? Now, if it's for medical reasons, you want to lose weight, because of course you're allowed to go on a diet. But are you allowed to go on a diet? Stam. Maybe to look better or whatever. A doctor says you're 100% healthy, BMI is perfect. You want to lose another 3 pounds. And you're causing yourself a lot of pain and aggravation doing it. You can't eat chocolate, you can get mutter not. So it's not as poshut as we would think. Maybe it's also. Moshe Feinstein talks about it. At the end of the day, it comes out it's mutter. We're going to have a sugi here a little bit. Says the Gemara. Vatanya. Huh?
Depends on how extreme. Where is the pain coming from? Is the pain coming from the fact that you can't have the food, or is the pain coming from the fact that your mom is not getting enough food?
I don't know if he goes into that, but he is. Moshe himself, I didn't see that. Okay. Maybe you're right. Okay, so a person makes a shvuah. He says, I'm going to do this and this. I'm going to do a good thing, or I'm going to do a bad thing. So good doesn't mean a mitzvah, because you already have to do a mitzvah. Good means a good deed. That's not a mitzvah. Something positive that's not a mitzvah. A person swears he's going to do something bad to himself, and he doesn't do it, he's potter. So when the Torah says good, it doesn't mean a mitzvah. It's something you don't have to do. So therefore, if a person swears that he's going to do something bad, he must do it. So Memele, you see over here, something bad. Okay, so you're allowed to cut yourself. I swear I'm going to cut myself, so you have to do it. So you see you're allowed to. Says Gemara, no, there's other bad things. I'll sit at a fast, not a mitzvah fast. I won't eat. So that's lahara. It's not good, and you have to do it if you promise, if you swear. So if so, let's go to the other case. The other case is that you did something bad to somebody else. How can you fast for somebody else? How can you make somebody else fast? Says Gemara, it's possible. The Mahadiklu ben Draina, he puts them into he locks them in a room. He forces them to fast. So that's causing somebody else to fast. But it says, Akeploini. I love this lashon. I'll split its head open. A person swears that it'll be physical. So what's the other case? That he's being physical with himself. One is to the other person, one is to yourself. So you see, we're talking about physicality, not eating. Elo Tanoyi, you're right. There's one man that says you cannot harm yourself. Person is permitted to be chayvel by himself. I mentioned yesterday Rabbi Yiddy's father. So I heard this a long time ago from him. He said a very interesting thing. He said that somebody saw somebody with something's wrong with his face. It's blown up. It's red. So he said, "What happened to your face?" He says, "Oh, what happened to my face? A guy went like this to me." He says, "What?" He says, "Yeah, he went like this," and he keeps on smack. Everybody that asks him, "What happened to your face?" He smacks himself again, and he shows people what happened. So he says, it just kept on growing. He says that when somebody insults you, somebody does something to you, so every time that you think about it, you bring up that pain. So you're actually hurting yourself. You're smacking yourself in the face every time. You got to release, let go. It's chayvel ba'atzmai. You're causing yourself. Take whatever that guy said and throw it in the garbage. Forget about it. Easy to say, hard to do. Who's this man that says you're not permitted to hurt yourself? This famous Tana Desanya. What's the pshat in the pasuk? If a person commits suicide, I'm going to go after you. Hashem says, I'm going to punish you. So the Chavis Abba says, very interesting. What's worse than killing your neighbor? Killing your own son. It's tremendous achzarius. It's real rishus. The closer you are to the person and you kill that person, says the Chavis Abba, if you kill yourself, there's nobody closer to yourself than yourself. So it's the worst aver in the world. It's worse than killing your neighbor. So if somebody's thinking about committing suicide, think about this Chavis Avavas first. But there's a Shiloh Bemis La'alacha. Seriously, now, but again, now, they say, Chaylim, I heard Chaylim say this, I'd rather die than be caught by Hamas. What they'll do to me in captivity. Question La'alacha. Could a Chayal, he sees that they're about to catch him, Rahman al-Islam, Chas v'Shalom, Is he allowed to kill himself? At the end of the day, the Poskim say it's Asr. Even though he's saying it's a Shayla La'alacha, they ask Rabbanim now. What should I do? They'll get, other people will suffer. If they catch me alive, I'll tell secrets about this. Maybe somebody else will die. I have a lot of cheshbonos why I should commit suicide. It's not so pashut. It's better not to. What? In the Twin Towers, you have shilas like this. These are sad shilas. Do you jump out of the Twin Towers so that they can find the body rather than disintegrate and you don't know in a shilah of aguna? I don't know what the time. So it's, what? Yeah, they call up the family to say goodbye. There's godless people do some heroic stuff. Anyways, Vidil Maktali Shani. How about the guy that was in the plane? Didn't he ask Mechila or something? He said the guy that was crashing just recently from Cleveland. Vidil Maktali Shani. Says Gemara, that's suicide. It doesn't mean that you're not allowed to cut your skin. Maybe somebody else. You're permitted to rip. In fact, we say it's a chiyuv to do kriya on a dead person. But the question is how much? You're not allowed to imitate the guy. It's not considered imitating the guy when you rip your own clothing. Person that does too much of it, too many clothing to rip, that's an isser of bal tashchus. The kolchkin gufa, he says, you're not allowed to harm yourself. Says Gemara, what's the kolchkin gufa? Who told you? Vidilma, the Gemara, you hear this? Vidilma begadim shani. Maybe to rip your own clothing is worse than ripping your body. When you rip your clothing, you have to toss in the garbage, but your skin will heal back. Ki Rabbi Kari lemoni mechabdusi. Rabbi Yochanan used to call his clothing, these are the things that make me mechubad. A guy sent me this. You're not going to believe this. This morning, Baruch Hashem, I opened up this email today. Hi, Eli. I know you appreciate this. Here's what I wrote on my collar, my custom-made suit. Thank you for always making the daf enjoyable. Insta Rabbi, I added the word Yosef because that was his name, Yosef Yafe. He wrote, Kari lemane mechubdasi, babakamat tzadik Aleph Amud Beis. This Gemara right here. He put, You can't go in the bathroom, you're saying? You think he takes his custom suit into the bathroom? It's a custom suit. Leave it outside. He has a custom hanger that he puts his car. Listen to this one. We even have a drawing of this. Rav Chizda, when he would walk between the thorns, he would pick up his clothing rather than have his clothing be torn by the thorns. He would have his feet torn by the thorns. My feet will heal, but not my clothing. We have to understand in those days, clothing took many months to create one beged. It was all handmade. Different generation. Says Gemara, so who's the Tana that says you're not allowed to do damage to yourself? We learned this in Nazirus, in Nazir, that there's a Isser, it says in the Pasuk, that when a person finishes with his Nazirus, he goes to the Kohen, he brings Korbanos, and it says, V'chiper alav, he'll have forgiveness, he sinned. What's the sin? A Nazir did a good thing. No, he abstained from wine. If you see a Sotah b'kula, if you see a Sotah, you should yahrzeits min yain. V'chibei ze nefesh chatazeh. El shetziatz min yain. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us everything to benefit from and to enjoy. And when a person says, I don't want to enjoy wine, tziatz min yain. Interesting, I just thought about it the other day. My brother-in-law made a deal with a few of his nephews that had a little bit of a drinking problem. He said, if you abstain from alcohol for a year, I'll give you $10,000. And two of them took it, they did it. And he paid them. Is it mutter to abstain from wine? Of course. They're addicts or whatever they are. But a regular person, stamped to abstain from wine, what are you laughing? They're doing well now. Do you think it helped for a second? The day the year was over, they were both drinking like crazy. Yeah. It has to come from within yourself. A person stayed away from wine, he's considered a sinner. So certainly, if you cut yourself, certainly you're considered a chayta. And that's the bottom line. You go to the person, why did you kill my ox? Why did you chop down my tree? Story, I know this person also. He was part of a new yeshuv here in Eretz Yisrael, and he wanted water. There's no water in the yeshuv. So he goes to the head of the Arabs, the mukhta, whatever he's called. He says, I want to hook up to your water. So the guy says, absolutely not. So he goes and he hooks up to the water. And he had M16 and all the guys had M16, so the Arab couldn't do anything, so he took him to court. Maisa Shoya. Takes the court, the judge says, why do you hook up to the water? So the guy said, what do you mean? He told me I could hook up to the water. So the Arab says, I said, you cannot hook up to the water. He said, no, you told me that I could, but you're going to tell everybody else that you can't, because otherwise they'll kill you. So you're saying it now in court, just because you don't want to get killed, but you told me I could. So over here, he chopped down his tree, he killed his animal. Why did you do it? You told me to. What do you mean, why? You told me to. I told him, Potter. He's Potter. Everybody's going to chop down somebody's tree, break somebody's car, and say, you told me to do it. Ask me, you want me to erase this whole brisa? You have to talk about, we're talking about a bull that has to be killed anyways, it killed another human being, a tree that has to be chopped down, they did have a desire to it, it's an asherah. So what's the taina? It has to come down anyway. Listen to this, Rabbi Yisai. I wanted to do the mitzvah. You stole the mitzvah from me. The sign you have a shavach v'chisa. There's only, right? What do you do kisei adam for? For chaya and a oif, not a behema. So if you do the shchita, you do the kisei adam, you do the mitzvah. Misha shavach yichasa. Somebody did shchita, and somebody grabbed the mitzvah from him and did the kisei adam. And Rabbi Gamliel said you have to pay 10 zuvim. Why? Says Taisvis, he stole his bracha. Forget the mitzvah. I don't know how much the mitzvah is worth. Now Rabbi Yisai, the Vilna Gaon, when he's on his deathbed, he's literally a few minutes before he died, he grabbed his tzitzis and he said, for a few grushim, for a few nothings, lotus, whatever they had in Vilna, you could buy tzitzis and be mekayim a mitzvah, and there's no way in the world to add one single mitzvah in Olam Ames. But if here in this world for another pruta this. So now I ask you Shaila, and this is for everybody that just walked in for Shabbos. How much schar do you get for coming to Daf Yomi in the morning? How much schar? The answer is, depends on how much you gave up to come. In other words, if one time somebody gave up a business deal that's worth $10,000 to come to the daf, that means every single time that he comes to the daf and learns Torah that hour is at least $10,000 valued by a Kadosh Baruch Hu. If somebody for to bring his kids to school didn't come to the daf, okay, so now we have to judge that. I said this last night, and I want to tell you here, Berabim, Benny Rodnick, who takes me every single day to shiur back and forth twice, he told me, I want to tell you something, but on condition you're not going to tell anybody. So I said, okay, no problem.
You told me to tell.
So he told me the story, and when he's done, he said, of course I'm going to tell everybody, you idiot. I have to. It's a chizik for everybody. He says, okay, fine, you could. Obviously, he wanted me to tell. That's what he said. I shouldn't tell. But he said, I want you to know that I pay somebody a full salary to come to the daf every morning. Just to come to the daf, I pay somebody full salary so somebody could open and close the door in his butcher shop. You got to dedicate. You got to commit. And based on that, that's how much schar you get. Rabbi Yisai, have a wonderful day. Shir la malo, he says, "Soy na lo remind you of Yisri."